Welcome to our 21 Days of Wellness Chats. We are here with Colette and Benoit to talk about wellness of first responders. As we all know, first responders will be away from their loved ones this holiday season, and obviously they face a lot of trauma at their workplaces, not forgetting the trauma they've been facing ever since COVID started. So Colette and Gary, a quick question for you would be, how can loved ones for first responders support them during this holiday season?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's a wonderful time of the season for so many, but unfortunately our first responders are, like you said, on the streets and they're not seeing some wonderful things happening on their shifts. So it does add a lot more stress to their holiday season for sure. As a spouse or a partner, we can really just allow our first responders a little bit of grace. So, maybe things don't get done as fast as we had hoped around the house. Just really giving them grace to take some time for themselves. We can help plan meals for their shifts. We can prepare the meals and pack their lunches just to make their daily routine a little bit more easy. Mm-hmm. We can ask how their day is when they come home from their shift and really listen. We, as women and even as first responders, we like to fix things. We like to interrupt and give our opinions, but really just sitting with them and allowing them to share whatever they want to share and just listening, eye contact, being present with them and letting them know that you're actually hearing what they have to say. You can also allow them to get a little bit more rest than they normally do. I know Gary does well on like 6 or 7 hours of sleep, but over the holidays, it is quite a lot busier. And just allowing them that extra bit of rest will help for them to be able to be focused and present in their job as well as at home when they get home. Another idea could be to plan a small surprise for when they get home, something to make them happy or a laugh, a little video with the kids or, a picture or a card or, a meal or cupcakes or something, do something with the kids if you have kids and just have a little surprise waiting for them when they get home. You could also write little notes in their lunch kit, send them texts, leave the notes around the house. If they're getting up before you, do it the night before. Just little things like that really help, make you feel valued, but also help just get through those days. And really being aware of how you're feeling. If, as a spouse or a partner, things are stressful at home too. And it can be stressful when our first responders come home, they're stressed, they might be a little bit short, angry, all those emotions are arising from what they've seen on their shift. And, if you feel as a spouse or a partner that you need to take some time just to yourself as well, then make sure that you do that and you communicate that with your spouse. When it comes to extended family, I don't really know what this year's going to look like, if we're going to be able to gather with extended family for Christmas. But just even as an extended family, parents, siblings, checking in with your first responder family member throughout the holidays, sending them texts, letting them know you love them, that you're thinking about them, do a short FaceTime or call them on the phone. Again, dropping off meals if we can't get together, giving them extra grace as well if we are able to get together as families and maybe the first responder is going to be with the family and then has to go to shift, or vice versa, is on shift and has to come home to a house full of family, just allowing them to have a few minutes. If they don't want to chat, just be respectful of how they're feeling.
Yeah, I think all of that is great advice. And I think they're just those small things that we sometimes tend to ignore. And what I really resonated with, I mean, all of those things, the little post-its and allowing them grace. But I think listening is also so important. Sometimes when our first responder spouses come home, we probably just like, okay, now we are moving on and doing stuff that we normally do and forget to spend a little bit of time with them to connect and listen as to how their day was. So that was really beautiful. What are some things or what advice would you have then for first responders? What are things they can do to take care of their own wellness this holiday season? I think that's also very important that first responders do some things to take care of their own wellness.
Yeah, for sure. Like, we are terribly bad at taking that moment or realizing, right? We want to be fixing, we're always helping, and we have that mindset that we're okay. But it's really important to get the problem of sleep. So if you're tired, make sure you either sleep well at nighttime. If you don't sleep well, have a nap. Have a plan for the holidays. Have a plan that you can ahead of time. So talk about it ahead of time, and have a plan that you can, sort of plan out the days that you're working and the days that are off, so that you have an idea of what you're doing with the family and how things are going to be, and have an idea what that looks like for each other, as well as your family, extended family. I think communication is really, really key. I think that is the biggest point. If there's anything that takes away, is communication. The better you communicate with your partner, the better you communicate with your kids, and the better you communicate with your mom and dad, your extended family, aunts and uncles, about what your shifts look like, how things are going, how you're feeling. If you're communicating clearly, I think then that gives a lot of feedback for your partner, because that way they can then understand what you may need in that moment more than if you don't communicate it. There's little things you can do, maybe like a family calendar, and if you've got kids, have them sit down and get the calendar out, and you guys can plan together for the next
stickers and
whatever,
coloring.
Yeah, whatever it looks like, have it, like, do it together, have a family thing. I'm a big proponent as well as having a hobby. If you don't have one, find one or try to look for one. And if you have something you love to do, take 15 or 20 minutes and just sort of use that for your decompression time, or whatever that looks like. I do like to laugh, and I think laughing is important. I think if your kids are doing something funny, it's nice to capture that, or maybe you can find something you like to do that makes you laugh.
Watching a funny Christmas
movies,
movie,
like Christmas movies, like, if you
pulling
love
up
those,
YouTube videos,
whatever that is. And really, ultimately, the time for yourself should be non-negotiable. So your own time, the time that you need to take for yourself is non-negotiable. You take it, and when you're done that, then you can transition back to the home life and a little bit easier. So that's really, really important as well. And if you're really struggling, then there's always the peer support, your other people that other organizations you can reach out to in the event that you are really seriously struggling. And by all means, we always big proponent of reaching out to those people that you can lean on. And it's something that to be said, like, I've worked for 22 years in policing, and I've worked all of my 22 years attached to a patrol division. And probably in the last 22 years, I'd say I had about 6 entire Christmas days and Boxing Days, like those, that holiday season that we'd have associated with Christmas, 24, 25, 26. 6 times in my 22 years have I had them entirely off. I've always worked a piece of it or all of it in 22 years. And so I understand how important that those days can be. But understand that those days can be celebrated on other days. If you've got kids, sure, the morning of the 25th is important for Santa Claus and that kind of stuff. But ultimately, you can work around everything else, the dinners and the gatherings. You could find other time, because really, ultimately, it's all about being part of the family. It's about having family time, because that's what Christmas is about. It's not about the day of Christmas. It's about the family time and the ability to reflect on the year and to look back on how well we've done, or where you've come from, what's going on. That's really important. So pick a day. It doesn't have to be the 25th. It could be the 27th. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, I think in both questions, really practicing gratitude is a huge one as well. So just, start a gratitude journal or do it with your kids. And it really helps get through some tough times.
Yeah, no, that was beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing these beautiful insights with all of us here today. And Gary, we thank you for your services. Thank you so much for keeping all of us safe. And Thank you, everybody, for watching us. Thank you for tuning in, and stay tuned for more amazing episodes coming on our 21 Days of Wellness Chats. Thank you.